Hello there everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Joesephyr and I actually started playing gacha games with Final Fantasy Brave Exvius because Ariana Grande was in it. So you guys can read me all to filth in the comments below if you would like. And welcome to today's recap of the community stream we've just had for Dissidia Opera Omnia that's going to take us through all the exciting stuff that's going to be happening in September. So if you guys want to know what characters to look forward to, what quality of life upgrades we've had and all sorts of stuff like that, then stay tuned and keep on watching. Of course, don't forget to check out all of the social media links in the description box below, including Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and Patreon. Twitch this week, lovely for you guys to come and join me for the viewing party for the community stream. It's always lovely to have you guys, and there's lots to look forward to this week. I don't think I'm working this Saturday, so I should be streaming FF9 modded again. I will be streaming some Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and of course, I will be streaming every event as it goes live on Opera Omnia as well. For Patreon, I always shout out one of my patrons at random to show my thanks to each and every one of you that decides to support the channel further, and today that person is going to be Nalthian. So thank you very much for your support. It means the absolute world to me as well, you know. Don't forget to check out all of the websites associated with Opera Omnia, including OO Tracker, Tombury Troop, Dissidia Info, Dissidia DB, and more. And obviously, you can check those in the description box below. And of course, don't forget to check out all the content creators out there besides myself. Now we have a lot of slides to get through today, so I shall try to keep this as short and sweet as I possibly can for each one. But the first slide that was shown on stream today was actually nothing to do with Opera Omnia at all, but for Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, which has got a lot of excitement behind it. Lots of people are very excited for it. I'm very excited for it, and I shall be streaming it myself. So definitely check that out on whichever console you're playing on, whether it be PS4, Nintendo Switch, or even on mobile as well. It actually is playable on mobile as well. Be sure to keep an eye out for more Crystal Chronicles content from me. Now, absolutely delightfully, we're getting some very long-awaited quality of life updates along with the maintenance we're going to see on Wednesday. The big ones include a new cycle quest, which will be level 70, which will include high shards, so you'll be able to farm those now, which we haven't been able to do before. And we're not going to have to use keys anymore, because all cycle quests unlock no matter what day it is, so you're able to just go through and collect whichever crystals you need, which is fantastic. As a day one player, Christ, you remember cycle quests and having to farm for crystals back in the day was rough. Reset wave is also a massive thing. You can reset the current wave you're on from the pause screen, so no more having to close the game, reopen it, and then continue from the wave you're on. You can do it just from the pause screen if you've made a bit of a mistake or something like that, or you don't like the turn order. You can just do it. Great. And other changes are also going to be able to have a draggable scroll bar for inventory, party, things like that, which is actually really great because no more having to just flick over and over and over and over again to be able to get to stuff. The Dissidia point exchange is going over to the token exchange, which is also great because it means not having to go to the home menu in order to be able to do that. And also, setting the ability order pattern for your friend support means no more troll orders for your friend support. Fantastic, cannot wait to see stuff from that. We're also going to be getting sphere refining and reset stones from this particular update as well, with the reset stones actually being released earlier than they were in JP, which is a lovely addition. Sphere refining, you can earn sphere fragments just by playing co-ops and things like that, and then you can make refined spheres, which are similar to the spheres you'd get from fully realizing an EX weapon, but they're slightly weaker. But obviously, you're going to be able to get more of these than you would be able to from the EX weapons. And then reset stones are the opposite of that, where you're able to remove bonus spheres or refined spheres, and without actually losing it, you're able to just take it out of whichever weapon you've put it in. So if you want to take something else, say you've put the Neil sphere into something like Vayne or Aranea, and you want to move it into something else like Gabranth coming up, for example, you can just use one of these stones in order to remove it. Now, these are actually paid only, apart from the 3 you get from the login bonus, but they're included with the weapon enhancement chest that you get ingots and things like that from. So if you are paying to play the game, if you are like putting some money into it, then this is a nice little bonus for you. Next up, we have a new story chapter coming on Thursday, as well as some other bits that will be coming along as well. And this is going to feature Varn with his LD and burst weapon. We're done with Squall, we're done with Shantato, we're now moving on to Varn. Varn is a pretty good character with his LD and burst. He's not like the greatest out there because he has so many different elements going on at once and no way of imperiling them himself. But he's a great partner for Shantato if you already have her LD and you actually use her a fair amount. His burst and LD actually give him a buttload of free skill uses, so you'll be able to take advantage of that if you will be lucky enough to pull him. He's also accompanied by Gabranth, which is a character that I'm actually very excited for, and a lot of people are, because he only actually has an EX, which we've seen like these EX only legends, like we've seen with Alize and characters like that. Gabranth definitely falls into that category. He's a great debuffer, he's got Rebreak in his kit, He's got like he's just got a lot of defensive properties. Like he's like a combination of like Vayne, Kefka, and Barsh by having all of these different things going off at once. He's like a jack of all trades character. And quite nicely, he's actually coming along with his costume, which is way earlier than JP got it. And that costume is the nuts, like helmetless Gabranth, much as it's a little bit of a spoiler for FF12, I kind of think I might have to have that. But definitely watch this Space Forest should you pull video on Varn and Gabranth coming very soon. Now, this next bit is the bit that probably excites me most, well, second most, out of everything that was announced in this stream, and it's a new set of Abyss strata. So Abyss, as we've seen before, the Normalis at least, was just a set of things that you did where you had restrictions on the parties that you can use. Well, this one's a little bit different because it's like a heretic version of it. So you have to perfect every boss quest in order to move on to the next level. And the reason this excites me more than anything is because it's a buttload of free resources. The last time we got like Abyss Normalis, it was like crazy amounts of tickets, crazy amounts of gems, all sorts of stuff. And not only that, but there's usually banners that accompany this, and they're usually banners that bring things forward early that JP didn't necessarily get, like Kane was one of these banners, and they usually turn out to be quite good, so I'm very excited to see what comes out of that. And that'll also be hitting on Thursday alongside Varn. Now, on the enhanced campaign that comes along with it, that also comes out on Thursday, we finally get double artifact token drops, which is something that we all need. I certainly do after having tried and failed miserably to farm for Cater for weeks, so seeing this pop up is actually really nice. And we're also going to get additional daily missions for the period of time, so that's between August 27th, so this Thursday, and September 6th, where we get weapon tokens, EX power and armor orbs, armor tokens, and gil. So it's just nice little extras to have. So on this next slide here, you'll be able to see the other two events that will coincide with Varn's burst. So obviously, as we've seen before, characters who are released with their burst also continue to have their burst featured on multiple banners other than their own. In Varn's case, he's going to be featured alongside Markina's Lost Chapter, which will also come along with both Markina's LD and Sid's EX Plus Awakening. Sid is still a little bit lackluster, unfortunately. He's better, like he's usable, where he's like brought up to the same level as everybody else. But I wouldn't put him on the same level as, say, Alize or Gabranth or, well, the other character that I'm going to talk about in a moment, because it just doesn't do enough, unfortunately. But Markino is made significantly better with his LD. He's not a character that I perfectly plan on pulling for, because he's not somebody that really excites me, and my resource has been taking a beating these last few weeks, but he's definitely a lot better with his LD than he was previously. And then on September the 3rd, we're also going to be getting a beatback event, so that's going to be a nice way to get more resources, that is going to feature a banner that will feature VV's EX+, Leon's EX+, and it will feature a rerun of Arciella as well. Now, Leon's EX Plus is actually really good. He's somebody that I would put in this EX Only Legends category as well, because he starts with his EX refilled, and anyone who's used Leon previously knows that the main reason to take him is that he gives the party Dark Absorb and forces the enemy to only use Dark attacks. So most non-elemental damage is just it just doesn't work on you anymore, and that actually is made significantly stronger with what Leon gets from his EX Plus. Vivi, I hate to say it because I love the little guy, he doesn't get that much out of it. He's definitely better, but the main problem with Vivi is that he gets a lot of fire imperils and his EX is non-elemental. So his kit doesn't quite gel as much as I would like it to. So I don't already have Vivi, but I do already have Leon. Because of the stuff that's coming after this, I probably wouldn't pull on it, but Leon's EX Plus, if you already happen to have it, is actually really good. Now, this next banner that is coming up on the slide that just on my right here is a big one. It's a very big one, and it's because it features Noctis and his burst and LD. Anyone who has kept up with my videos, kept up with other content creators, looked into the JP version of the game, know that Noctis is very worth your attention. And luckily, he comes on a summon board, which means there's a butt ton of resources for you to earn to put towards Noctis, because Noctis is a character that a very large number of players are going to pull for. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the game crashed the day that Noctis's burst and LD was released. He's just an exceptional character. His turn efficiency is off the charts. Like, people do turn 0 clears of a lot of content with him because his burst and LD are just that good. He also comes along with more costumes and stuff. The only costume I actually don't have there is Franz. He's the only character that gets like a rework or anything like that, which will increase his hit count, make it so that he's even more efficient than he was previously. Paladin Cecil's obviously featured on this banner, but we all know that I bought that costume ages ago. So it's nice to see the costumes come about. As well as having Odin come out, we also get Dimensions N15, which is another magic resistant one, because apparently everything has to be resistant to magic, but it's also one that likes to use a lot of AoE attacks. And a character that's going to be coming up later in the month alongside Noctis is going to work out very well here, but bringing anyone that can imperil, as with the last few DEs, is going to be really helpful. I've seen a very, very large variety of characters clear this particular tier. I've seen like Saz, Raijin, Fujin, Garnet, even with the magic resist, because obviously her imperils are so good. Noctis, Squall, there's a lot of characters that you can use to clear this. So as long as you've been keeping up with the meta or the current like characters that are available, then you should be fine to be able to clear this, as long as you've got a lot of characters available to clear the tiers below it. And then after that, we're also going to be getting the other banners that will accompany Noctis's burst. Now, the reason I say there's another character that's really worth looking at here, it's Barsh. Barsh's LD and his rework make him significantly stronger. Like, he gets lock in his kit, which he absolutely needed so that he can tank efficiently as he was supposed to do when he first came out. But because he's so good at defending against AoE HP attacks, he's a perfect fit for DE15. He's also a great place to pull for Noctis's burst. So if it were me, and this is what my plan is anyway, I will pull for Noctis's LD with the Odin banners and when he comes about. And then if I don't have the burst by then, I will then continue to pull for it using Barsh's banner. And then the character that is featured here with the silhouette here on September 18th is 9, which is another Type 0 character, which I'm sure everybody's excited for. But 9's actually very solid. He's another tank-based character that puts up really heavy shields in a similar way to Warrior of Light, but also dishing out a large amount of damage while he's doing it. He's another defensive character, so honestly, if you're pulling for Barsh, which a lot of players will, then 9 is less necessary, because Warrior of Light with his LD and burst will come about a month after this. So you could not pull for 9, but he is actually really good. So it actually just, honestly, it depends entirely on how your resources are looking after Noctis. And then the last slide that was shown on the stream for this particular month is actually another story chapter. I'm surprised actually that they've put these two in this and the Varn story chapter in the same stream, but obviously this means that they're going to be putting the next community stream in the very last week of September, as opposed to the week before last like we've had it this month. And this one not only features Noctis, but it features Arden. Now Arden is a character that a lot of players are very excited for. Basically, what I've been telling people for these last few weeks, and not always adhering to myself, I will admit, is these banners, after Noctis, it's going to be an absolute hell ride for your resources, because there is character after character after character after character, all of which are screaming to be pulled for. Arden is no different, and he will come along, in theory, with Renoa's LD, which is actually very good and puts her back on the map again. It's not broken by any means, but it's definitely very good. And it will also come with Maria's EX+, which is actually a lot better than people give credit, because Maria's been very undersold for quite a long time, but her EX+, actually pretty good. But Arden is definitely one to be looking out for as well. Just be careful with those resources, because pulling for a new character that comes with a burst, so that's an EX, an LD, and a burst that you're going to have to pull for, as well as the 15 and 35, obviously. Be prepared with your resources. If you're getting Mog passes or anything like that, then you could put your EX tokens towards Gabranth, or you could save them for Arden so that it makes things a little bit easier for you. You could pull on the other banner that he comes with that doesn't feature his EX, and that way you can use your EX tokens in the most efficient way possible. So that's everything that we have to look forward to in September, including Noctis, including Abyss, Arden, Gabranth. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming up this month. There's also some banners that, in my opinion, give you a little bit of breathing space for your resources, like Machina, like the Leon and Vivi, and the Abyss, obviously depending entirely on what comes out with that, if anything. If we get banners along with that, that could change everything, and that's the thing that excites me most about this month and scares me a little bit too. Sound off in the comments below and let me know what you plan on pulling for and why is it Noctis. And then obviously don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for future videos including should you pulls on all of the banners that we have coming up, as well as some exciting new content as well that I'm very excited to share with you that may have had something to do with that very first slide that we saw at the beginning of this video. And of course, don't forget to click that bell and ring the bell for notifications and share it out and subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. So thanks again, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next video or the next stream. Take care. Bye bye.